Hello, my name is John Robinson and I am part of SAP's Global Manufacturing and Industry 4 team. In this short presentation, I will explain why I think we need to change the status quo in manufacturing, and I will also propose a solution which I have called the Quorum Principle. It is my firm belief that the business model that has existed in manufacturing for the last 30 years, the status quo, is broken and not fit for purpose, and I'd like to explain why. The challenge for manufacturers today and every day is performance improvement. And over the past 30 years, manufacturers have followed four major trends that have been aimed at improving business performance. First of all, they have implemented strategies to improve their business, which include things such as mergers and acquisitions, where to build new manufacturing plants, and which products to take to which markets. Secondly, they have introduced operational excellence programs, which are based on lean and Toyota production system ways of manufacturing. They have invested heavily in IT systems such as ERP, which is the domain of the CIO. And finally, they have invested heavily in their operational technologies in the factories, such as new OEM equipment, automation, process control, MES, and batch control systems, which is the domain of engineering. However, not many manufacturers have successfully integrated and optimized these four internal silos of capability. And in many cases, IT and engineering do not collaborate very well to provide operations with the solutions they need to drive performance to hit the strategic objectives. If we look at the external supplier ecosystem, in many ways it is a mirror image of the same four silos. Strategic consultants sell to the boardroom. IT vendors sell to IT. OT vendors sell to engineering. And operational excellence programs are usually driven by operations. There is very little communication or collaboration between the external suppliers, as most see themselves as competitors. Over recent years, there has been a lot of hype around Industry 4, and several new suppliers and technologies have emerged. The reality, however, is that Industry 4 is stuck in what McKinsey call pilot purgatory. Manufacturers cannot get beyond interesting proof of concepts in a way that really impacts the bottom line. And my view is that the reason for this is because nothing has changed. The status quo of the last 30 years is still intact. The internal and external silos are still the same, and unless we change the status quo, we won't make any major breakthroughs in manufacturing performance as we move forward. So what is the solution? How do we unlock manufacturing's value? Well, the solution I am proposing is something I have called the Quorum Principle. And the Quorum Principle is a very simple idea. The starting point is for a manufacturer to answer this question. Which 5 suppliers have the biggest impact on you achieving your goals? And from all the suppliers you find in a typical manufacturer, let's assume that the 5 most influential suppliers are the manufacturer's management consultants, their enterprise application software, their global system integrator, their global automation standard, and their global hyperscaler. And in the case of manufacturer A, as an example, those suppliers may be McKinsey, SAP, Accenture, Siemens, and Microsoft Azure. I think those 5 combined do have the potential to help unlock a manufacturer's value. However, I think this will only work if the manufacturer brings all 5 suppliers together into the boardroom and mandates that moving forward, these 5, together with the manufacturer, will be collectively responsible for defining and delivering the manufacturer's strategic goals. This strategic quorum will be expected to work together in an open, cooperative, and collaborative manner to achieve a mutually beneficial outcome. One important point to note, however, with the Quorum Principle is that each manufacturer's combination will be specific to them. So in manufacturer B, it will be a different combination of suppliers. In manufacturer C, different again, and manufacturer D, different again. And in its simplest form, that is the Quorum Principle. But what value would the Quorum Principle offer? Well, first of all, we have left an enormous amount of money on the table from the investments of the past 30 years. There are significant gains to be made by simply revisiting manufacturing with a new collaborative approach. The value is hidden in plain sight, and it can be accessed quickly because it doesn't require major new investment. But in addition to the old money that we can recover, I believe that Industry 4 can deliver on its promise. The $3.7 trillion of value may be real, but we won't access it if we don't change our approach. And the third reason is the environmental, social, and governance criteria manufacturers are under from socially conscious investors now with regard to things like sustainability. But beyond the direct commercial benefits, there are other arguably more important benefits. And first of all, I think the Quorum Principle would enable manufacturers to recover more quickly, and that will mean more companies will survive following the crisis. More companies surviving means that more people stay employed, and both of those things will help the global economy. And if the economy is stable, then we will function better as a society. But most importantly of all, if we can achieve this, then manufacturing will be more efficient and more effective. We will consume less to produce the same, consuming less energy and raw materials, whilst at the same time producing less emissions and less waste. We will become more sustainable and get closer to a circular economy, which will be a big step towards helping the environment we live in.